Hello everyone and welcome to the Unisys ClearPath webinar series. Today's topic, ClearPath MCP Release 17.0. Let's get started. Our speakers for you today are Larry Obey, Stuart Smith, Howard Donahue, and Ritva Kangasperko. And with that, Larry, the audience is yours.
Thank you, Matt. I'd like to welcome you all to the MCP 17.0 webinar, and I'd like to review the agenda. We'll start out with an overview of the release and its key benefits, and then Stuart and I will give you an overview of the new products and enhancements to the release. This will be the bulk of the webinar. The enhancements are in three areas, helping you modernize and develop applications, helping you keep your data secure, and also helping you optimize the operation of your data center. Following that, Howard and Ritva will spend a few minutes discussing how you can achieve workforce continuity, and then the session will close with some information from Ritva on ClearPath information sources. This slide is the MCP release schedule. I'd like to review it quickly. MCP 17.0 became available earlier in April, and our current policy is to support it through October of 2018. One thing I want to draw your attention to is the top line MCP 14.0. This release is scheduled to end support in October of this year. So if you're currently running on MCP 14.0, I encourage you to move up to something more current. Now looking forward to future releases, MCP 18.0 and MCP 19.0, we're currently planning these releases. The planning is including both the feature content and also the scheduling of them. Last year during the MCP 16.0 webinar, you gave us some feedback on release scheduling, and we're considering that, and we're in the process of formulating some changes that we'll be communicating in the coming months. So right now the coming releases are still in planning. MCP 17.0 is a major release. It includes enhancements and fixes. It also includes a new product called Connectivity Services that's designed to help you take advantage of the InfiniBand interconnect on the new ClearPath servers. 17.0 is available not only on new servers, but it's also available if you're upgrading your server or simply as a software update if you have an existing license. And we're making it available on all MCP servers that are not in the final year of Phase 1 support or in Phase 2 support. And the list of servers on which it's available is listed in the front of the software release announcement. The enhancements in MCP 17.0 cut across the entire portfolio, and I've listed the products on this slide and the two that follow. I'm not going to go into them in a lot of detail. We'll be covering the key features of the release throughout this presentation. Okay, the benefits in MCP 17.0 are in three areas, helping you develop and modernize your applications, helping you keep your data secure, and also helping you optimize the data center. In the applications area, we're focusing on business process integration, helping you improve the productivity not only of your developers, but of the end users who use your applications. We want to help you scale up your applications to support business growth. In security, we tend to be focused on, continue to be focused on two areas. The first is helping you protect your sensitive data from unauthorized access and tampering, and also to help you automate activities associated with audit and regulatory compliance. In the data center, we want to help you address your operations skill issues and the costs associated with those resources. Also help you make your mission-critical applications available to your end users on a 7x24 basis, and help you move large quantities of data across networks more efficiently. So now we'll start with the application area. I just summarized the benefits earlier, a few slides earlier in the applications area, so let's just get into the content. So in the first area of business process integration, we have this new Connectivity Services product, and I'll talk about it in more detail. Also, the XML parser, which is a product that's been around for several years, has a couple of enhancements. The first is to convert XML documents into COBOL 01 records easily. The XML parser and the HTTP client can now be used by EAE applications. In the past, they've been able to be used by Agile Business Suite applications, and we received some manifestos requesting they also be used by EAE applications. So that capability is in MCP 17.0. Also, the binder, which has been around for a long time, has been enhanced to be able to export a library interface in XML format, and this is designed to be used with applications running on other platforms. So Connectivity Services is a product that's designed to enable applications and also our products to use the high-speed InfiniBand interconnect that's available on the new Fabric-enabled ClearPath server. So this includes the Libre 4300, the 6300, and the 8300. Now, since you may want to use an application both on, let's say, a Windows partition of a ClearPath server and then take the same application and run it on a standalone server or a PC, Connectivity Services is designed to allow you to use Ethernet when InfiniBand is not available, and it does this transparently to the application. Connectivity Services has APIs for both MCP and Windows applications. So this product is designed to be used by developers who are dealing with requirements that where they have to leverage resources both in the MCP environment as well as Windows-based resources. And we've packaged this product in all of our operating environment packages. This slide shows the architecture of Connectivity Services. So on the left side, we have a ClearPath partition. On the right, we have a Windows partition. And in this case, they're both part of one of the Fabric-enabled ClearPath servers. So they have an InfiniBand connection between them, which Connectivity Services we use to take advantage of the speed of InfiniBand. Now, suppose you take the applications running in the Windows partition on the right side and move it to a PC or to a standalone Windows server. Well, that application can continue to use Connectivity Services to interface with the network, but it will transparently select Ethernet to use as the connection to the ClearPath partition, since InfiniBand is not available with the standalone server or with the PC. This slide summarizes the features of Connectivity Services. There's several services. There's something we call a message framing service that ensures that entire messages are received by applications. There's an authentication service that server applications can use to validate access from client applications. Single sign-on using NTL MV2 is an option. There's a security service that will use transport layer security or SSL, and it's designed to protect sensitive data from unauthorized access and tampering while it's going across the interconnect. APIs to Connectivity Services on the MCP side, they're available to Algol, C, COBOL 74, COBOL 85, and NUP applications. And on the Windows side, they're available in C# and in C++. The XML parser is a product that's been around for a number of years, and it enables applications to easily handle XML and JSON documents. Things you can do are create, parse, modify, transform, and search the documents. And we've been enhancing it gradually throughout the years, primarily in response to NFSs. What's new in MCP 17.0 is the ability to take an XML document and then in a single call to the parser, convert it to a COBOL 01 record structure. This is not suitable for every XML document. Flat structures work best. So since this simplifies work for the programmer, we think it's going to help improve developer productivity. Our main strategy for improving developer productivity is to provide contemporary tools and technologies. On MCP 16.0, we introduced the new relational database server for ClearPath MCP. It has a number of important enhancements that I'll talk about in a few minutes. Another important product is the ClearPath MCP IDE for Eclipse. This is an open source development tool. It's workstation based. It's very popular, especially in the Java world. I see we have a question here. I'll answer it now since it's related to connectivity services. Is the connectivity services a priced item? No, it's bundled in all of our operating environment packages, so it's provided at no additional charge. That applies to both the MCP side as well as the Windows side. The relational database server, as I mentioned, was introduced in MCP 16.0 and allows you to do two things. Allows you to create relational databases and then update and access them. It also provides an SQL interface that you can use in conjunction with existing DMS2 databases. So you can use SQL to both update and access existing DMS2 databases. Like DMS2, the relational database server shares a mature data management infrastructure that we've developed over 40 years. And this product is separately orderable and priced. This slide shows the architecture of our data management software. You have the relational database server on the left and DMS2 on the right. And they share a common data management infrastructure that includes the data access routines, the utility functions associated with the databases, and also the audit and recovery functions. And one nice aspect of this architecture is that the common data management infrastructure enables the relational database server to provide an SQL interface to DMS2, which operates in parallel with the existing host language interface that's native to DMS2. One of the enhancements to the relational database on MCP 17.0 is a new ODBC interface. And we have 32 and 64-bit versions available for both Windows and Red Hat Linux. And this complements the JDBC driver that was released in MCP 16.0 with the relational database server. Another important feature of relational databases are stored procedures, and this allows you to store business logic in the database that can be used to manipulate the data in the database. And there's SQL constructs that are used to define the procedures and also to invoke them. You can use these storage procedures with both relational databases as well as with DMS2 databases. They're supported by the Quest database copy as well as by the ODBC and the JDBC drivers. The ClearPath MCP IDE for Eclipse has been around for several years. It's an open source development environment and is focused on MCP 3GL development. Since there's a lot of people in the industry who have experience with Eclipse, we think that it can help reduce the time for new MCP developers to become productive. We also have the Programmer's Workbench product that's been around for a number of years. It's based on some very mature technology. And we think that Eclipse might provide a more contemporary environment for people who are used to using Programmer's Workbench. There are a number of enhancements to Eclipse. There's support of the Luna release and also Java 8, and a number of productivity improvements. One of the things that developers have to do when they're testing and debugging a program is often they have to look at the output from the program. In the past, if you're using Eclipse to do the development, if you want to look at the output, you'd have to log into Candy and run the backup processor, or you'd have to go to the printer and get the printout. Eclipse now gives you the capability to look at printer backup files inside Eclipse's text editor window. And so we think this can help improve developer productivity by being able to quickly take a look at the output to see if it's correct. Another activity that's associated with debugging and testing applications is examining log records to see what's going on. And also in the past with Eclipse, if you wanted to do this, you'd have to log into Candy and run Log Analyzer. Now you can access the log records inside Eclipse and view the output in Eclipse's console view. Some other enhancements to Eclipse that we think will help improve ease of use and productivity. For COBOL, it can calculate the size of a variable or a group of variables. This reduces having to do it manually. It can also create a copy of a merged symbol file. So this would be the combination of a patch and the underlying symbol file merged together, and you can select where to store it. If you've got multiple files in a project, you can now search for keywords across all of them in a single operation. Okay, we got another question relative to Eclipse. Is it separately priced? No, Eclipse is not separately priced. It's also not packaged with the system software. It's available as a download on Unisys.com. We did that because it's primarily open source software. So you can get on Unisys.com after the webinar and download Eclipse and install it on your PC, and you're ready to go. The next area that we're addressing is helping you improve the productivity of the people that use your applications and also provide them with a better experience. We have some tools that allow you to do this without having to modify the core application logic. We have ePortal, which pretty much handles the front end, the interactive interface to the application from workstations and mobile devices. We also have Enterprise Output Manager that you can use to modernize the output of applications. So we kind of a surround strategy involved here. Stuart Smith is going to take over now and spend several minutes reviewing the new features of the ePortal 6.1 release. Stuart?
Thank you, Larry. So let's spend a few moments reviewing our ClearPath ePortal modernization solution. ePortal has been in the MCP portfolio now for over a decade, and we're introducing our 4th generation technology solution along with a new software release that provides additional enhancements. ePortal can produce from inputs that are derived from your applications, such as screens or FDF forms, and produce multiple kinds of outputs. We can do web enablement. We can produce a service-oriented outcome that allow you to do service-oriented integration or integrate with other applications through a standard mechanism. And one of the most powerful mechanisms from this is also the ability to modernize applications with mobile device integration. This is a particularly interesting aspect of ePortal because your staff does not need to know all of the details of how to do native programming and other aspects of deploying your ClearPath applications onto phones or tablets or other smart devices. This proves to be a very powerful capability, and we map the outcome of the ClearPath transaction onto the mobile device for you so that you don't have to continue to follow all the emerging standards in all of these areas. Let's review some of the attributes of the 4th generation ePortal Enterprise. So we're introducing a new, fully redundant enterprise platform. This is a big change in the sense that we are now moving towards deployment on industry standard servers with automated local failover capability. Now, there's no single point of failure, just like all the previous generations of ePortal Enterprise. We retain all of the attributes that are significant to make sure that this is a non-stop solution for you. As Larry pointed out, there's a new release, 6.1, that is required for this new enterprise platform, but it also supports all of our existing products that are still supported, including our previous enterprise platform and our ePortal business, which is the smaller, non-redundant capacity. We've made this available for download as of March 31st, so it's already in the market today. What we've done here is now moved from a hard architecture that was based on blades and put this model into a soft partitioning form factor so that when you add incremental capacities, it will be done by adding additional partitions, and I'll talk later about some of the aspects of that. In addition, customers have been requesting that we expand the scope of scalability, and we've significantly enhanced that, and I'll cover that in just a moment. So let's take a look at the hardware platform. It's a 1U building block type platform. It replaces the prior generation, which took a 7U enclosure, and which blade servers were added to put incremental capacity in place. It has all of the features that you would expect of a highly redundant platform, power cooling, networking, and so forth. But you will see that it's in a nominal capacity. This will take a lot less power, and it will take a lot less space, especially if you're constrained in terms of your cabinet space. A fully configured system at its maximum would take 8 U's instead of 28 U's, so that's quite a significant reduction in form factor. And you can see that we have extended the performance to 4,000 transactions per second from 3,000 transactions a second in the prior equipment profile. All right, so let's look at what comes in the base package, including the hardware and the software. What you see on the right-hand side is a representation of 2 redundant platforms and 2 switches. These provide the connectivity to your host systems that are needed to configure a basic ePortal system. Each one of these standard platforms can handle up to 4 web partitions each. We include 2 partition enabler licenses, and that's why I say when you want more capacity, you would buy an additional partition enabler and an additional web software license to go with it. The base package contains 2 partition enablers and 2 web software licenses for runtime and a standard management platform and management software. You can connect to 4 back-end partitions or 4 back-end servers, depending on the nature of your requirements. Each of this base capacity server has 200 transactions per second in what we call an N+1 configuration. So in each one of those base platforms contains 200 transactions per second of capability. So you could lose one of those platforms and still have a completely running system delivering 200 transactions per second. So let's look at the maximum capacity of a system. So the base capacity was 2 servers and 2 switches, and you can add 4 additional platforms. Each nominal partition is 200 transactions, and you have 4 transactions per server. So that gives you a maximum gross capacity of 800 transactions for each server if you add the full capacity. You get to 4,000 transactions per second using 5 servers at 800 transactions per second nominal capacity, and you have 1 reserve server in case of a failure issue. So it's quite a highly scalable and highly available platform architecture. Just wanted to show you a brief picture of what I've described. It's sometimes the slide words don't give you a full visual aspect. This shows a maximum capacity system. None of the redundant connections are shown here, but there's, again, redundant switches and redundant connections everywhere with no, so any connection or any server can fail and we still keep running. This gives you a picture of a maximum capacity system as it would be configured. So I wanted to show you some pictures of the logical architecture because versus our prior solution for ePortal Enterprise, what you did to add capacity was you bought a chassis, you got a baseline 2-blade solution and a management blade. And then you serially added capacity by adding blades. And then when you filled up that chassis, you would go to the next chassis and add more blades. Here, because we've moved from a hard parts architecture to a softer, clustered virtual architecture, we have more ability to configure different types of architectures where we can have redundant or non-redundant applications as we choose. And since the servers themselves are sold at commodity type of pricing, you can add more servers and add more flexibility with this solution than you could by adding serial capacity to the former solution. The management platform will allow you to drain transactions from one cluster, reprovision, and then reallocate transactions from applications to another cluster that you might designate. So you have a high degree of online capability without having to shut down the ePortal itself to change the capacity or architecture that you need. So some good news here, because a lot of things aren't changing, even though we've changed the physical and logical architecture and software and hardware. We've not changed all of the critical features that are necessary for continuity and transparent migration. The management environment is the same, so the operations staff does not have to learn anything new because we're moving from one ePortal enterprise to another. All of the mission critical attributes that we've supplied with enterprise are still in place, as I've spoken before. The interactions between your existing applications that you want to modernize and how those transactions interact with ePortal are still in place. We're still using Visual Studio as the development environment, so that continues to be enriched, and we'll talk about that in a minute. One of the key benefits, one of the maybe most striking benefit of the ePortal, is the ability to rapidly modernize applications in those three forms that I talked about. Since we put a lot of the enterprise knowledge of how to deal with ever-changing middlewares, these are things like JavaScript and HTTP and cascading style sheet kinds of standards that are out there. The ePortal maps all of those capabilities and makes them available to your staff without having you to follow them, track them, learn them. We provide all of this enriched environment through point-and-click mechanisms that do not require any programming. So this is why we have the most powerful application modern solution at our fingertips here, because we've done all this integration on behalf of the ePortal solution that's an end-to-end solution. And we continue to map the most current standards. We leverage the Microsoft R&D investments, and we provide the enormous leverage that's contained in Microsoft's investment in a form that maps those capabilities into the ClearPath environment for you without you having to do low-level aspects of modernization. And, of course, you do not have to change your host application, which is a very, very attractive feature for a majority of our clients. Here's a slide that's a relatively technical slide. I'm not going to go over this. This is more for those who are more technically inclined. But what I wanted to point out here is that we continue to deliver what we call edge-of-the-market software content for ePortal, and that is we're generally doing 2 releases a year, and in doing that, we can track the most latest features of the market that's emerging and deliver it to you in a single solution. And we continue to expand the productivity, the capability set, well beyond any other solution that's in the marketplace today. So let me just summarize the ePortal enterprise value. Again, we're leading now with our 4th generation solution. High levels of automation are available, and that's important for the business. The business wants to be more competitive, make enriched applications available to improve its revenue and competition profile, or if you're in the public sector, you can provide enriched services for the public to access easy, say for e-government or other needs. You have transparent migration, so you needn't worry if you have an existing solution that we're going to make you redo anything. we've taken care of all those issues. Scalability is up. Resiliency and availability are still in place. We've moved to a virtual soft architecture rather than a hard architecture. We're using industry standard servers instead of proprietary solutions. The value, we've increased the value of the base package significantly over the former solution. We have more flexible architecture options for web clustering and lower cost platform additions to allow you to provide the maximum and flexibility towards the application modernization of your ClearPath solutions. And we continue to deliver continuous innovation to enable your organization to deliver superior business value to your team. I thank you for your attention, and I'll turn the broadcast back.
Stuart, we have a number of questions that are related to ePortal, and it might be good to answer them now.
Okay. All right. Do you want to just feed them out to me, and I can answer them in response?
Sure. Okay. The first one is, it says web services work with XML, so can we convert those files to COBOL?
Can we convert XML files to COBOL? So let me back up a little bit. I'm not sure I understand the question a little bit, but let me take a stab at it. So we can input from the ClearPath application COBOL record descriptions or COBOL transactions, as well as I should have pointed out, we can integrate with AV Suite or EAE applications. When we input those standard elements from the ClearPath application, they get transformed into an XML kind of representation internally to the ePortal. So everything, once an asset is captured from your ClearPath application, everything beyond that, everything from there out to the deployed environment is done in standard formats, using industry standard formats, I should say.
Okay, the next question is, can we run ePortal release 6.1 and MCP 16?
Yes, we have the ability to run those on two different releases.
Okay, the next one is, we have several web services. Can we use ePortal instead of Business Integrator?
If you can take again an existing COBOL input transaction record SDF forms and transform those into SOA compatible assets. We support both the web services standard and JSON type of SOA assets.
Okay, that's all. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Larry.
Okay, now we'll move forward on to Enterprise Output Manager 12.0 is included with MCP 17.0, and it has a number of enhancements. The first is one of the things that EOM allows you to do is email output to recipients, and now you can personalize the body of the email that accompanies the attachment. There are also several enhancements to the data-dependent attribute feature of EOM that both improve ease of use and help increase productivity. The configuration option Explorer has some new find and replace options, and there's a security enhancement. If you're using Web Assistant to post files onto websites, it'll now hide the URLs of files in the File Finder search result page to prevent unauthorized access to files. To help you support business growth, we have made changes to the MCP, the database products, and several other products to support new storage devices that have 4K sector sizes. Now turning to security. Our focus continues to be in two areas, to provide some capabilities that are designed to help you protect your sensitive data from unauthorized access and tampering, and also to provide automation of audit and regulatory compliance activities. In the area of data protection, we have enhancements to several products. The Transaction Server's Custom Connect facility has a new facility that enables applications to query client network addresses before they allow the client to actually do something with the application. There's a number of enhancements to Security Center that I'll discuss in more detail in a few minutes. And the Web Transaction Server has been enhanced to allow users to request a change of their password from the web browser. Several of Security Center's enhancements are related to Secure Shell, or SSH. SSH has two authorization options. You can use either passwords or public keys. Public keys are viewed as more secure, and they're also easier to use. Now, in the past, for incoming connections, the MCP only supported one public key per user code, which meant that if you had several clients using the user code, they had to share a key. We did support multiple public keys per user code for outgoing connections. So MCP 17.0 will now support multiple public keys per user code on an incoming connection. This means that each client can have a unique key and provides a higher level of security. Security Center will store the keys in its data store, and this provides functionality similar to what Linux provides in its authenticated keys file facility. The second SSH enhancement also comes from the Linux world. It's called a Keyscan, and it's designed to simplify the task of gathering public keys from multiple SSH hosts. Once you get a key from a host, Security Center allows you to put the key into a file for use later on, or you can import it into the MCP directly for immediate use. And this, again, is similar to what Linux calls a Keyscan function. Security Center allows a security administrator to designate a user code or a password to require a password change on the first use. So it behaves like an expired password. This improves security because it allows the security administrator to establish an initial password that the user has to change, so that at that point on, only the user knows the password. Windows has a similar functionality that requires the user to change a password at next logon. The final enhancement to Security Center has to deal with the unwrap command. By default, the unwrap command marks all system files, compilers, code files, backup files, anything that's sensitive data as restricted. And currently only a security administrator or a privileged user can override this default by having unwrap unrestrict these files. So there's a new unwrap restrict granulated privilege that a security administrator can delegate to specific users. So this allows the user to mark a code file, for example, as unrestricted while unwrapping it. And this can be used by both the unwrap statement and also by the MCP wrapper and MCP file wrapper interfaces to the wrap functionality. The second area that we're focusing on in security is automating activities associated with audit and regulatory compliance. A few years ago, we introduced a new software inventory assessment utility that you can use to determine the versions of system libraries that are installed on your system. We're also partnering with Locum to provide you with a 360-degree security toolkit that's focused on helping you fill the audit exposure gap. And it does this by enabling you to monitor alerts based on activity that's occurring on the system. It allows you to conduct policy-based security assessments to ensure that your security policies are properly implemented and being followed on each of your systems. It also provides extensive reporting that can be used to support audits. So the whole focus of this security toolkit is to help you mine the gap that can be exposed during a security audit. There are 4 products in this security toolkit, and all have been enhanced for MCP 17.0. The first product is Locum Safe and Secure. It's a security administration tool, and it's been enhanced to make installation simpler and more flexible. Safe Survey is a security assessment and risk identification tool. It has a guard files report, and this report's been enhanced on MCP 17.0 to include invalid access codes and group codes, as well as missing programs. It also has some improved reporting capabilities, including the ability to generate reports in PDF format. Real-time monitor is the alerting component of the tool set. Now, one of the issues you can run into with alerting, with real-time alerting, is that you get too much data, and it's hard to focus on the most important issues. Well, real-time monitor has been enhanced to have some advanced filtering capabilities to help focus the alerts on the most critical items for your organization. The final component of the toolkit is Locum Secure Audit, and it's a reporting tool that you can use to support audit and regulatory compliance activities. It also has some improved reporting capabilities, including the ability to generate reports in PDF format. Now we'll turn to the data center. Here we're trying to help you in three areas. The first is to help reduce the requirements for MCP-specific operations skills and the costs associated with those skills. We want to help you increase the availability of your mission-critical applications to the end users of those applications. And the third area is many of you have to move large quantities of data across networks, so you have to move large quantities of data to multiple locations. We want to help you do that more efficiently. In the skills area, our primary focus is through increased automation. dbaTOOLS has a new automated online garbage collection capability, which I'll talk about in more detail. Workload management is an important automation tool that helps you ensure that critical applications get the resources they need. And it has some enhancements, primarily giving you programmatic access to the MIPS month-to-date value. Also, Operation Sentinel has some automation improvements that I'll review in a few minutes. The dbaTOOLS online garbage collection capability can be used with index sequential sets. The reason you want to use this feature is to remove wasted space in your data sets. It's designed to reduce the risk of limit errors that can be caused by wasted space or by performance problems. The way it works is that dbaTOOLS will prioritize sets for garbage collection based on the limit error potential, the loading, and the levels. And the DBA can specify parameters that can be used to control the analysis of the sets. The DBA can also decide what sets to skip, so which sets to not garbage collect, the maximum number of sets to garbage collect based on the prioritization that's been done by dbaTOOLS, and also the maximum number of garbage collections that's going to be running simultaneously. And finally, the DBA can determine that they want to do the garbage collection now, or they can specify a start time and have it done later on, possibly during some off-peak periods. Now, in order to use this product, you have to have licenses for both the dbaTOOLS Analyzer and the dbaTOOLS Monitor product. This screenshot shows an example of the online garbage collection capability. So what it's done is it's analyzed the database, and it's prioritized 142 sets out of the 621 for garbage collection. And it's established some as high, some as medium, and some as low. The DBA has determined that they're going to run 3 garbage collections simultaneously, and that the top 50 sets will be garbage collected. And they've also specified a start time for the garbage collection. Operation Sentinel has a number of automation-related enhancements. There's an alert scheduling flexibility that allows you to skip the action execution for an alert type during a specified time frame. If you're installing the Windows, Linux, and Unix agents on multiple systems, you can now do it in one step. It supports SNMPv2, and there are also some enhancements to the Auto Action database editor and to Operation Sentinel's topology window that displays the layout of all the systems that Operation Sentinel is managing. Now we'll turn to application availability. Unisys Business Continuity Accelerator is a product that we introduced several years ago that's designed to accelerate and automate DR operations. It's a failover product, and it's designed to relocate a workload and associated data from a primary server to an alternate DR server, and then restart that workload on an alternate server. So in several implementations of this product, it's proven to be able to reduce downtime, and because it uses automation, it reduces the risk of people making mistakes when executing the BC plan. It's been integrated with a number of products for MCP 17.0. The first is the disk encryption product that we introduced with the Libre 470, the 4300, 6300, and 8300 servers. Now, the disk encryption product is designed to protect an entire disk from unauthorized access and tampering in the event that disk is lost, stolen, or decommissioned. It's a separately orderable and priced product. Now, if you're going to be doing failover with encrypted disks, you need to be concerned that the backup system is able to decrypt the encrypted disk. So this means that the keys need to be synchronized between the primary system that's, let's say, encrypting the disk and the backup system that's going to be decrypting them. And so what BC Accelerator does now is it detects that a disk is encrypted, and it helps synchronize the keys between the primary system and the backup system. It does this all automatically, so the operator only has to get involved if there's a problem when if the backup server can't decrypt an encrypted disk. The second area of integration is with EMC's SRDF product, and BCA can now automatically create the storage scripts for standard SRDF configurations. Previously, these had to be done manually. So it can transfer the script to the storage manager and then begin using the script as soon as it's available. We think this can help reduce the need for specialized script writing skills and speed up the implementation of BC Accelerator. There's several other enhancements to BC Accelerator in MCP 17.0. It now uses SSL to secure the data in its heartbeat and in its communication with the storage managers. It's easier to input commands to BC Accelerator. There's now a BCA command. You don't have to use the AX to respond to the product. You can also group network resources as well as applications and storage resources to satisfy site-specific requirements. So many of you have to move large quantities of data across networks, and in MCP 16.0 we introduced a new data compression product that was designed to help you do this more efficiently. We think this product is especially useful if you have slower networks or if you have a lot of data that you have to move to multiple locations. This product uses a variant of the LZW compression algorithm. Like most compression products, text is more compressible than binary data. We recommend that you test this product with a small sample of data before deploying it in production, and this is a separately orderable and priced product. Data compression on MCP 16.0 is able to be used in conjunction with the wrap file enabler product to compress wrap container files. On 17.0, it's been enhanced to be able to compress selected database components, including backup files, audit files, and internal large objects. There's also an API available on 17.0 that Algol and new programs can use to compress and decompress application data. Now we have two data compression products. We have a firmware-based product that's available on our new servers, where the compression algorithms are implemented in firmware. This is designed to minimize additional MCP CPU overhead. We also have a second version of the product where we've implemented the algorithms in the MCP itself. And this we call the software-based product. It's available on our older servers. Now this product is CPU intensive, but if you have to move compressed files between the newer systems and older systems, these two products provide complete interoperability. So you can compress the files on one system and decompress them on another system. Now before I turn the floor over to Ritva, I think we have some additional questions here. This one concerns the Locum product. Can you set up reports to be emailed daily automatically with Locum? Stuart, do you know the answer to that, or are we going to have to get back to the person that answered this question?
Yeah, I think that's a pretty deep technical question. We'll get the answer and research it and post it.
Okay, thank you. And I'd like to turn it over to Ritva to discuss achieving workforce continuity. Ritva?
Okay, so yes, let's talk about ClearPath skills and achieving workforce continuity. And first of all, there is quite a number of things that you can do today. For example, we offer customer education. I offer here a URL for our customer education homepage. We have a number of course catalogs, ClearPath MCP, ClearPath MCP Specialty Partitions, and Agile Business Suite. And actually that Agile Business Suite catalog is just being updated and posted. So you can tailor this customer education as per your individual requirements. And number two is this whole thing about services. We offer end-to-end and very wide range of services. Personally, I think that I would start from the ClearPath advisory services, but there are a number of services, and again, it can all be tailored for you. Then we have all these tools. For a very long time now, we've been really trying to provide so that you can use industry standard tools, industry popular tools to develop, deploy, and manage ClearPath-based applications. And we have a very rich set available. And I can tell you that there is an enormous activity in this area here in the engineering, and there are many very interesting products being worked. So you will hear about those later on, but there's a lot going on in this area. And then this issue of application discovery. This is very critical. It's very critical to document the applications in order to understand what are the business processes they contain, the competitive edge. That's in the applications. So it's important to document those in order to be able to transfer to the new employees all this information. And we have services available for this, and also we have partnered with Hatha Systems Knowledge Refinery for this. Talking about addressing workforce continuity, here are some interesting things. The ClearPath Connection newsletter, October 2014, and this is a live link, it was fully dedicated for this. So there is a number of articles like about integration and list of tools, automation, list of tools, application development, and list of tools. So the whole newsletter was about what are the things that you can do to address if you have issues. Then December 2014 newsletter, there's a lead article titled Engineering a Bright Future for ClearPath Programs by Jim Thompson. And I thought it was an excellent article, and it explained how we are here in Unisys doing. And then we also had two articles by MCP engineer and OS 2200 engineers. These were both kind of fairly new hires. And the same thing we continued in the ClearPath Connection newsletter in March. We have 2 articles by our young engineers. And I'd really like you to read these articles because I thought they were very inspiring. And I think engineering has really figured this out. First of all, when they have a new hire, or if it is an intern, they give them real work. That's one of their principles. Secondly, they give them a mentor. And this is not a mentor that is somewhere far away and that you meet twice a year. It's somebody who is there day to day, and this has turned out to be very, very important. Then many of these tools are in the key role, like Eclipse. People know Eclipse, and actually programmers' workbench. Then engineers have kind of internal knowledge repositories that they use to collaborate and explain different things. So all those have been very important, and it's been very inspiring to read this, and it's been very, I've been very impressed because these people became productive in a matter of a couple of weeks. Actually, one person first week. So that's very impressive. And by the way, in the picture, these 2 models, our 2 young SPAR engineers. So a little bit about customer education. So we have these catalogs. We can tailor it for you. It can be classroom training. It can be self-paced training, or it can be instructor-led web-based training. So the homepage is where you find all these catalogs. And with that, I want to turn over to Howard. Go ahead, please.
Okay, Ritva, thank you very much. And I just want to start a little bit talking just about, we've heard a lot about the application modernization solutions. I think both Larry and Stuart did an excellent job of explaining the new benefits and features within Release 17 to help leverage the performance and reliability of your core ClearPath applications to improve the end user and developer productivity. But what I also wanted to talk about on this slide is utilizing these types of solutions also helps you expand your pool of resources to people who have the skills for the contemporary development environments. We heard a lot about the visual development tools, the model-driven development tools, the point-and-click type of capability within ePortal. This allows you to, from a workforce continuity perspective, if you're utilizing these types of solutions, to have a broader base of resources to help enhance and extend the use of your ClearPath applications. So the other side of it is your core ClearPath application, the one you may have developed over the years in COBOL and has some Algol code in it. What can we do to help there? And Ritva talked about some of these ClearPath application advisory services. So if you're not sure where to start, you're looking for help in what can be done there, whether it's, as Ritva said, to document the application, improve the documentation if there's going to be a transition within your organization, or can Unisys help with some of this development, be it onshore or offshore? How can we help you maintain some of that? The place we typically would start with would be an application advisory service. In this area, we have a couple areas that we can look at. One is we call the discovery service, where we can take a look at the application portfolio, including a code level analysis, and focus in on a few applications and what can be done to improve the efficiency and the maintainability of those applications. If the area that you're concerned about is performance, we have services to help take a look at the performance of your application, help identify where we may have bottlenecks and how we can improve the performance of that application to help optimize it. And then if you want assistance from Unisys around actually doing the work and transforming that the applications, maybe moving more toward a service-oriented type of implementation on an enterprise service bus, we have a way of doing that as well, to put that together and the roadmap how we can improve integration with other applications within your environment. So if you don't have a tool and you're not using a tool to do kind of extracting business rules and structure and so forth, as Ritva mentioned, we are partnering with a company called Hatha Systems where we can utilize this tool and help you during the discovery process. In addition to that, we do have a services organization, Unisys Global Services, which works out of our organization in India. And they provide a lot of services. And I just wanted to mention here a number of things that they can do. Typically do this in a very cost-effective manner around modernization. So user interface modernization, helping to build web services design, particularly in the area of EAE applications and enhancements, helping with EAE migrations to AB Suite as well. They can do some design development and support, including level 2 and level 3 types of activities, taking calls, researching issues, and helping put together a break and fix type of approach. Some of our clients have also used them in preparing for release management, where they have a number of applications they want to recompile. They can be used to help in that area to prepare and do some of the recompile services, releasing some of your resources who would normally need to do that. And then in the area of testing and supporting both the regression and performance testing, but also user acceptance testing. So we do have a range of services there as well that we can offer. So the other area is really addressing the resources that you have and the skill issues. And the staff supporting your ClearPath environments may be approaching retirement, or you see other forms of attrition. So what can we do here? One of the things we can do, Rivit talked about, was the training. If you're out recruiting and hiring people, we can help with training those individuals in our ClearPath solutions. Leveraging a number of the products that we talked about to use the open development standards again, and the operations automation that was mentioned earlier by Larry as a way to help address some of these issues where you can use fewer staff to do some of these activities. And then contacting Unisys, we can help you with the services I mentioned around application documentation, or helping you making your applications easier to maintain going forward. Down below is another summary, evaluating and recommending skills refresh plans. If you're not sure what critical skills and what the backup for those are, we have a way to come in and help you to take a look at evaluating that. Offloading some of your ClearPath work. There are things that we can do remotely, and both from the application side, but also from the operation side. The training, new resources, both yours and ours, that we bring on board, and future development. So in the area of leveraging a skills refresh, one of the things is, succession planning. Internally, Unisys has gone through a process where we've done quite a bit of this, and we can help share with you what we do and how those programs work. We use a number of colleges where particularly we recruit interns around our engineering organization, and we've established those relationships there. We found that to be a good source when we're trying to bring in people from entry level. And then mentoring programs, which are key, and you'll read about that if you go through some of the documents that Ritva mentioned. We talked about the ClearPath classes, the products that were mentioned earlier, and there's also opportunities for outsourcing certain functions. So if there are functions where you would be looking to Unisys to maybe take over these functions in certain operational or systems management or application development areas, we can come in and through the application discovery and through our operations analysis type work, we could look to see what we could do in those areas. And last, I don't know if any of you had an opportunity at the Universe conference. You may have seen some younger people around that we were able to take. These were some of the people who've come through our program, our internal program, that we started back in 2008. The current class that we have coming through that started in the fall of 2014 is approximately 30 individuals, both interns and new hires, into Roseville, Malvern, and our Irvine teams. And typically what we'll do is we'll bring these people in between their sophomore and junior year as interns, and then as they approach the senior year, we'll look to extend offers to them, or if there are new individuals that we become aware of through our college recruiting on campus, we will extend them offers as well to come in. In addition to those that we bring into our engineering teams, we have a number of specialists that we're also bringing into our service delivery or support teams and our managed services teams through the first half of 2015. So a number of things are going on to help refresh the ClearPath talent. With that, Ritva, I'll turn it back to you.
Okay, there is a question about these articles and hyperlinks to those articles. In this presentation, those article names, they are hyperlinked. I can send them to you, and you should be able to find ClearPath archives or ClearPath newsletters are also posted on unisys.com. So you should be able to find those ways. We can also send them to you. Okay. So let's look at what kind of new things we've done since we met last. So first of all, we have a new way you can register to get the newsletters and emails. It's one place, and one place for ClearPath Connection and one for the developing agility. So developing agility, EAE, Agile Business Suite, it's one link, and for ClearPath, both MCP and 2200, it's this one place. So if you have registered really long time ago, it might be a good idea to re-register here, because it's very important. For example, we need to know what country and things like that. So this is the best way to make sure you get it all. Then the ClearPath newsletters, the latest one is the ClearPath March issue 2015. It has 2 articles by the young engineers, for example. And then we have Developing Agility that was just published last week. And there again, we have been forced to really look at these registrations. So if you didn't get anything, if you haven't received that April issue or the March issue, it would be a good thing to sign up and make sure you get everything in future. And as always, it comes as an email, but every article is available, search engine searchable webpage, and it's in English, Spanish, Portuguese, and French. So all this now available. These are the latest versions. Then the ClearPath ebooks. These are all up-to-date, updated, or new, and these are high level. So if you're a technical person, this is probably not that interesting, but you may have new managers working with the ClearPath. Maybe they don't know ClearPath that well. So understanding the economics of the ClearPath systems, this is new. It's kind of like related to the white paper that we have. Built today, ready for tomorrow, Unisys ClearPath systems. It's kind of it is an overview, and it's up to date. It has the new fabric-based systems. So it is an introduction to ClearPath, one could say. How to shift your IT focus from administration to innovation gives ideas how our services can help you in a different ways. So very high level. We are working, it's in design. We're working a new ebook which is giving examples how you can use fabric-based infrastructure and how you can leverage if you have one of these newer systems. Social media, the ClearPath blog, it's called ClearPath Innovation Blog. And we have there currently going on security series by our top security expert, Mike Kane, and there are already 2 in this series that has been published. And today, maybe an hour ago, there is a new blog entry regarding ClearPath MCP security. I have read it. I think it's an excellent, excellent blog. So I very much recommend that. So ClearPath Innovation blog. YouTube, we have a ClearPath channel. It has a large number of ClearPath-related videos. And then in Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter, we use the corporate handle, so you can see ClearPath news. When we have new things, for example, when we have that new ebook, we'll advertise it there, so you know it's available. Collateral for the ClearPath fabric-based systems. So since the last MCP release in last June, we introduced 12 new ClearPath systems. 6 of them were Libras. So it was a very, very major announcement. And I just wanted to show you that we have material available if you are interested in these systems. This is kind of all more or less new. Press release was done at that time. Newsletter June 2014 was fully dedicated for these systems. So it was explaining what is fabric, and it introduced all these new systems. Then we have these high-level brochures like executive overview. It's a little bit longer. And then the rest of these, like the skills brochure and application services, which is the product, and the ClearPath fabric-based systems, they are one-pagers. They are meant really for busy people. Then we have a white paper, ClearPath systems with fabric-based infrastructure. And of course, the recordings. I should also say there are specification sheets for all those new systems, all updated, all available on unisys.com. So just to give you an idea for these new systems. All the webinars, as I have said, they are, you have this one link, and from there you find all the webinar recordings. And for example, this recording will be there probably in a couple of days, 5 days or so. And you can find all the other webinars there as well, and also the related PowerPoint. White papers. You know, sometimes people wonder if the white papers are still relevant. And interesting thing is that they are one of the most popular items that we see on our websites and in generally in the market. And we have updated and we have new white papers here. For example, delivering value, the economics of the ClearPath systems is updated. Understanding IT cost is new. And it describes these ClearPath financial analysis models that we have and we can do and we can provide. It explains what we have and what kind of results we have seen. Highly recommended. We've updated ClearPath as open system white paper. Integrated the hardware-software stack paper is updated. Understanding IT system state experiences from ClearPath appraisal process, updated. Automation, the ClearPath system management white paper has been updated. And then brand new, the ClearPath systems with a fabric-based infrastructure, or it was basically announced with the new systems. And then you may know that we have this ClearPath middleware strategy and products for MCP system. It's a very, very meaty white paper, and it has been fully updated. So, and also, I think it also explains a little bit how you can use Fabric, but it's gone through a very major update. So it's probably something you want to take a look. And service-oriented architecture, ClearPath systems in SOA, very high level. So all these available, these are all hyperlinked. Then the YouTube, 136 videos, might be even more. and they organized in these playlists. So the really key with these videos is if you go to our channel and you look all the 136 videos, or you look at the list of them, that might be a little bit overwhelming. That's why the playlists are in a key role. Look at the playlists. And most of these, I think like 113 or something around that, is all very, very technical. There's a couple of high-level videos, but most of it is very, very technical. And now I want to turn over to Larry.
Okay, thank you, Ritva. There's a number of questions that have come in over the last few minutes that I'd like to try to address as best we can. The first one concerns dbaTOOLS and the garbage collection capability. It says, is there a way for the dbaTOOLS to select the high data sets for garbage collection rather than the top 50? The answer is yes. The way that works is you specify the number of sets to garbage collect. It's not just 50, it can be whatever number you want. So for example, if, in fact, I think the screenshot showed that there were 6 high priority data sets. And so when you tell dbaTOOLS how many sets to garbage collect, you just simply say 6, and it'll do the garbage collection on the 6 high priority data sets. The next question concerns the XML parser. Is it separately priced? The answer is no. It's included in all of our operating environment packages. We've had a number of questions today about bundling and pricing of products, whether they're separately priced. We have a software products catalog that's available on the documentation DVD. It's on our support website. It's also on unisys.com. You can probably search for it in your favorite search engine. You put MCP software catalog, Unisys, and it'll probably give you the URL. There's a table in the back of that catalog, I believe it's Appendix B, that lists the products that are bundled in the various operating environment packages. We've got several different bundles, and depending on what you've licensed, it'll tell you what's bundled and what's not. Okay, the next question's quite technical, related to BC Accelerator and SRDF. I think I'm going to have to take that to our engineers and ask them to answer it, and then email you the answer to that one. Okay, the final question we have here is it possible to move from 16 to 17.0? If so, are you able to figure out what would be the impacts and risks? It is possible to do that migration. You may have to install some intermediate versions of products along the way, depending on how your installation is configured. What you should do is consult the migration guide for MCP 17.0, and I would also recommend looking at the migration guides for MCP 16.0 and MCP 15.0 before tackling that migration. That's a pretty significant migration, but it is doable. There may be several steps along the way, and we try to outline in the migration guide everything that you need to consider when doing this type of migration. Matt, have we received any additional questions, or is that the last one?
I believe that's all we've received at this point.
Okay. I'd like to summarize the webinar. So MCP 17.0 is available today. It's available for ordering with the new system or as a software update. The release is designed to help you do 3 things: develop and modernize your applications, keep your data secure, and also optimize the operation of your data center. And as Howard pointed out, we have services people that are ready and available to help you achieve the benefits that are associated with MCP 17.0. And finally, I'd like to thank you for attending today's webinar. I know all of you are very busy, and we appreciate you taking time out of your schedules to learn about this release. I'd like to wish all of you a good day. Thank you. Matt?
Excellent. Thank you, Larry. And thank you all for another fantastic presentation. Again, that does conclude today's event. The recorded version of today's webinar will be made available for download on the Unisys website along with a copy of the slide deck. And again, I would just like to thank you all for attending, and have a great day.